Chances are when you think of a 10 out of 10 masterpiece fragrance, you might think of something that's going to be on the more expensive side. Maybe full-blown niche that's $200, $300, $400, $500+ or, you know, at least a designer that's 70, 80, 100 something odd dollars, somewhere around in that range most likely. And I have to admit, for myself as well, when I think of most of the fragrances that I would give out a 10 out of 10 of, I generally kind of gravitate and think of those more expensive premium options first. Those are just some of my favorites. And unfortunately, a lot of them do cost a substantial amount of money. Not crazy, but you know, in that $100 range when we're talking designers. However, today I have 7 cheap fragrances that I personally would still give a 10 out of 10 ranking to. And so by cheap, when we're talking about this video, I'm looking at everything about $45 and below. Realistically more so $40 and below, but I have to say 45 because some of these will be 41, 42, and then people will freak out about it. So yeah, basically in that $40 range and below are the fragrances that we're talking about today, and they are all amazing in their own way, worthy of a perfect score, and we'll talk about each one as we go. And another important piece of clarification here before we get started, these prices that we're referencing are discounted prices. You cannot go into a department store, Macy's, Sephora, Ulta, and get these for the prices that I'm talking about today. So we're going off of discounters. That's where you can get these for the prices that I'm talking about. It's very important when we're talking about cheapies like this. And so I will provide links to each one of these down below so you can get the price that I'm referencing. Also, if you're on the hunt for any rare, discontinued, hard to find fragrances or just really good deals in general, you can get on my mailing list at the first link down below. It's completely free to sign up. Anytime something that is either super hard to find or just something that is an insanely good deal comes into stock, I send out an email alert which gives you guys a fighting chance to be able to pick it up before it does sell out. Because oftentimes when it's something that good, it sells out quick. This is a notification that you can get to make sure you get your bottle before it does go away. Let's get things kicked off with Burberry BRIT for men, of course. This is my tester bottle, no cap, unfortunately. It's 100 milliliters, but you can see the note pyramid on the back and all that stuff. So it is a tester. I also have a tiny little 30 ml that I've had since the beginning, and you've seen that in videos before as well. Recently, this became available to me, and I'm happy to have a full-size bottle, although a cap would be nice. I love this. I think it smells fantastic. It's all about the ginger, the rose, some woods. This is a man's rose scent. So there are really a few different ways you can go about it. It can be a sweet, jammy type of rose that is going to give it more of a niche feel, or it can be like a fresher, more uplifting, spicy type of rose like this, and that's how this is. The easiest way to put this, if I had to compare it to one thing, it would be in a similar ballpark to something like L'Homme Ultime. It has that same type of fresh, uplifting rose and the spiciness and just kind of the overall energy of L'Homme Ultime. That's kind of what this one has. Now, in terms of them smelling similar to each other, they are quite a bit different. But if I had to compare it to something, that's kind of what it would be like. It's more so in that category of men's rose scents. L'Homme Ultime is also discontinued. You really can't buy it anymore unless you're wanting to pay crazy prices on eBay and other places of that nature. So this is one you can get into that kind of accomplishes somewhat a similar thing, although not entirely. But with that being said, this one brings a lot to the table for a low price. I think it's fantastic. Again, I've had it since the very beginning, my tiny little bottle, and it's one that to this day I still think is a killer scent, especially coming from Burberry. Generally, they do a lot of things that are just very okay, very entry level, don't push the boundaries all that much, so to speak. But this one, surprisingly, does it in a different way, and I think that's pretty admirable of them. You know, this one really brings something a little bit different to what we now have is a bunch of blue fragrances and aquatics. You know, this is something that does stand out overall. Coming in the $30 range as well, Bentley for Men Absolute. Talked about this one a ton on the channel. It's all about the cedarwood, olibanum, pink pepper in here, papyrus. Now, this basically is just woods to the max. Dry, kind of pencil shavings, you know, masculine woods with A spicy kick, no surprise, and actually a little bit of an alcohol boozy accord off the top. Every time I spray this, I get it, even though it's not listed anywhere, and I haven't really heard of that many people talk about it, but it's quite interesting. It is very prominent. Ultimately, this one is known for being a clone of Gucci Pour Homme 1, which also is a discontinued fragrance that you just can't get anymore. I don't have a bottle of Gucci Pour Homme 1, although a long time ago I did have a sample of it, and I think I did a comparison video of the two a long time ago when I had that sample. I don't have it anymore, and they are very similar, just going off of that sample that I have and my memory now, very close to each other. But even on its own, you know, whether it's a clone or not, this is still a fantastic scent. And besides Gucci Pour Homme 1, this doesn't really smell like anything else. This is not the type of DNA that you will smell all over the place when you go out in public, like a lot of other things on the market. Nothing wrong with those other things. I love my blues, I love my aquatics, I love my overly sweet aero style scents, but this really is something different. The quality is impeccable. This is, again, in the $30 range. It smells like it can be going for $60, $70 on discounters even still. That's how good it is. Take my word for it. The quality is great. The performance is great. It's unique overall, given besides the fact that it's Gucci Pour Homme 1, but when you're looking at the vast spectrum of what's on the market now, it is very unique. It does stand out. It's a great cheapie. Next up, Versace Man Eau Fraiche. Now, when you hear this designer name, you might not think cheap, but this one is. It's right around $42 right now on discounters, which is a great price for it. And it's always been more affordable. It seems like it's actually lowered a bit from what I remember. Could have sworn I paid closer to $50. This was actually one of the first fragrances I ever got, along with Nautica Voyage. I've told that story many times as well, but if you're new, this is what started it all, along with Voyage. So you got basically a $20 scent, and a sub $50 scent is responsible for creating all of this madness behind me. And even to this day, Versace Man Eau Fraiche is still one of my favorite smelling summertime scents. I think it's fantastic. It smells much more premium than it is. Again, that's kind of the trend here. 40 bucks, 42, whatever. It smells like it could be going for much more, even at discounters. The retail price is obviously more, but it's all about the star fruit, the citrus. It's smooth. It's very uplifting, creamy, kind of bright, very musky, slightly floral here. It's vacation in a bottle, and it's done in a really good way. The quality, especially for the price, is amazing, and I just love this stuff. I would give this an easy 10 out of 10 rating. Again, it's perfect for summer. Next up, we have MISSONI Wave. Right around the same price. You can get 100 ml testers with cap for around $40, $42. The full presentation is more, but again, you really don't need to go that route. You get a magnetic cap with the testers. I think that's a pretty good deal. Easiest way to describe this one is it's actually a hybrid. So it's a clone, but a hybrid clone of Versace Pour Homme and Chanel Allure Homme Sport. Now, the Versace is also affordable, right around the same price as Eau Fraiche, like we just talked about, in that mid $40 range. However, the Chanel is 100 plus. On discounters, you're paying more than retail, so that's not even an option for you. Basically, if you want a Chanel, don't buy it off discounters, buy it at retail, because discounters legally have to mark it up over retail to be able to sell it. Otherwise, they will get sued. So yeah, it's 100 plus at a minimum, okay? And so it's expensive, the Chanel. Now, you could go for the Versace. That's a great option as well, but this is a hybrid between the two. You get the overwhelming bright citruses and musks from Versace Pour Homme, but you actually do get a little bit more of that kind of tonka, ozonic, creamy sweetness from the Chanel that the Versace lacks. So it takes the best of what I think is both of them and combines it into one for an affordable price. So personally, if you were to get just one, this would be the one to get. I love the Chanel. It's hard to replace it. I love the Versace. It's hard to replace it. But anymore, guys, with this one, it's almost like, man, what do you really need more than this? I mean, this really does combine the best aspects of each of those into one, and they make it at an affordable package. And guess what? This is the only one that has a magnetic cap. You spend 100 plus on the Chanel, not magnetic. The Versace, not magnetic. No Versace fragrances are magnetic. This one is. It's a small detail. To most, it's trivial, but it is a nice touch. And overall, I have to give this one a solid 10 out of 10 rating. It is amazing. I love this DNA, and this one just does it really well, especially for the price. This next one is really interesting because it's like a resurrected hidden gem. This was, don't want to say if it was a limited edition or if it was just discontinued, but for the longest time you could not get it. However, it has returned. And not only has it returned, but it's back for an affordable price. One of the cheapest ones in this video. And at one point it was very rare. It's interesting. Coming in at around $26 for a 100 ml eau de parfum. It's SJP Stash. So believe it or not, this was super hard to get for a while. And Fragrance By got these back in months ago at this point. I did a review on it. And since then it's been consistently in stock. I don't know what the full deal is. However, I just know that right now, at the time of you watching this and me recording this, $26. This one's got cedarwood, olibanum, some black pepper, some leather going on in here. Very, very woody and sweet and kind of resinous. Very rich, not at all what you would expect for mid $25 range. I mean, it really smells much more unique, much more premium than what it is. And again, it's cool that this is back for a great price. You know, generally a lot of times you would imagine something that was hard to find that comes back would be listed at a premium marked way up. But no, they're bringing it to us at a great price. $26 for this is amazing. And it brings so much to the table. So much more unique than a lot of, you know, $100 designer fragrances that are being put out today. So it really is cool to see this one. Definitely worth grabbing while you have the opportunity to. Another one that I've had for a while, this poor bottle has seen better days for sure. I actually didn't realize it was this bad, but it is. One thing to keep in mind if you're to buy one for yourself, Coach Platinum Eau de Parfum 100 ml here. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but the bottle is really rough. The finish is kind of peeling off in some spots. It's, you know, it's been through a couple moves, hasn't been necessarily wrapped in, you know, a blanket to protect it. It's, again, in this video for a reason. It's in that $40 range, right around there. It's not, you know, my priority to protect this at all costs when I pack it and unpack it. But anyway, you can see I've used a lot of it as well. It is so good. I've also had this for a long time. I've done a video on it back in the day, and God, I love that. I really love that. You know what this smells like? It is a creamy vanilla heavy Sauvage is what it is. Right when you pull the sprayer on this, you get that vanilla and that pineapple immediately, like right there, instantaneous. Creamy vanilla sweetness, but then this metallic kind of ambroxan Sauvage smell. It is remarkable, you know, especially for the price. Yeah, you can argue, oh, it's another Sauvage blue fragrance type of thing, but to me, it's more than that. If it was like the original Coach, yeah, Sauvage inspired, you know, kind of like Prada Carbon and things of that nature. This really is kind of doing something different. I have to give them credit where credit is due. I really like it a lot. A good dose of cashmerein in here as well. And then in the dry down, some leather. I think it's amazing. And, you know, I liked it a lot back when I did my first video on it, which was, I think, a review years ago. But even now, revisiting this one years later, after adding more to my collection and my taste changing and ultimately probably getting much more refined over the years, I still smell this and I still go, you know what, that is really nice. I think this is fantastic. At this price point, you really can't go wrong, and it's a compliment beast. My fiance loves this stuff as well. This is just really good. Last up for this video, another one that's in that down into the 30s now, Hugo Boss Reversed. I've talked about this one a lot. There was a point where the price was crazy. It was just supply chain issues and all of that. But now it's finally stabilized to where it should be, that mid $30 range. Out of the entire Hugo Boss canteen bottle, so the bottles that look like this, you know, literally a canteen, out of all of these, this is the best one to me. It's the most unique. It's one of the better performing. It's one of the better quality ones. Yes, there is a significant jump in quality to me when you compare this to something like Hugo Boss Iced or things of that nature. Big difference there. This is just the most premium one in my opinion. I've been saying that since the beginning. I've loved it since the beginning, and it's no affiliation to this or the brand at all. There's a lot of Hugo Boss fragrances that I don't like, and especially from the Canteen style line. So I don't think they would like me saying that if they were paying me to say nice things, right? But this is one that I've loved for a long time. Kind of Elysium inspired, but still very much does its own thing. It's got a lot of vetiver, ambroxan in here, even though it's not listed, some aromatics, citrus, grapefruit, things of that nature. But it really is bright, refreshing, great for summertime at an unbeatable price. And yeah, I got to give this one a 10 out of 10. No surprise, I've loved it since I first got it. But it is a great one to have for the upcoming warm weather. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. 7 cheap fragrances that I would personally give a 10 out of 10 score. I think for the money, these are some of the best out there if you're just looking for great quality, smell, price ratio, and even performance on a lot of these. Links will be down below so you can get those prices that I'm talking about. Deals will also be going out to my mailing list subscribers. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.